Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I got on my work clothes this morning, but I had to stop for a minute and bring Dr. Prodigal to you with something that really was in my meditation this morning. It's the point of unity within the church. I read in John 17 chapter, which I call the Lord's Prayer instead of what we commonly call the Lord's Prayer as our Father. But this is really Jesus' prayer to God. And one of the things that he requested was make them one as we are one. So in that, Jesus never did or said anything that the Father didn't either do or say beforehand. So we watch how we want to be in one, but we have a problem with division. Yes, we have the racial division. That's just really only the scab, but the wound below it is very festering. So I'm not even looking right now at that. I want to go all the way back into the book of Genesis and just have a quick muse and come all the way up. As long as Adam and Eve were one and walking and listening to the voice of God, walking in the cool of the day, they were fine. The moment they broke that unity among them, a 3-4 code or 3-4 code chord is not easily broken, then there became a problem. We listened to someone else that caused the division, and that's where division began, was in the Garden of Eden. And it's only found different avenues to attack people since then. So why do I say that? Well, the serpent, occupied by the spirit or the angel or the fallen angel, whatever you want to call it, Satan, began whispering in Eve's ear. So we have that now, and then people wanted to blame Eve. No, that wasn't necessarily so. There's always something in us that can be touched to cause division. In her case, she was thinking that she was being wronged by Adam. Now we move up a little bit more. I keep just little small things off the top of my head. Here it is, Cain and Abel. We're told that Abel's sacrifice was accepted by God. Yes, it was. Why? Because he bought the firstlings of his flock. He set that aside to God. It didn't say that as soon as they were born that he ran and sacrificed them. No, he just said he bought the firstlings of his flock. But then the first time that it's mentioning that time is in the process of moving was in the 4th chapter of Genesis. In the process of time, which means that Cain had a lot of time to think about it. Cain then brought an offering in the process of time. So we look at that again. It has nothing to do with the blood, but it has to do with the position of the sacrifice. Such as, do I give God my first, or do I give him my second or third or subsequent? Well, Abel bought his firstlings. Cain waited a minute and he bought whatever he decided to bring. Never said it was the first of his harvest. It never said it was the first fruits. Just said it in the process of time he brought an offering. So that's something in itself too, that for those who trust and believe in tithe, the tithe must be given before any offering can be given. So let's move on a little bit further. We go on up into the 11th chapter of Genesis, where we have Nimrod. And for those who always want to, argue about culture and things in the Bible, guess what? Nimrod was a Cushite. Nimrod was also a descendant of Ham, the black man. But let's leave that alone, because he also brought people together in unity. In unity. From all different aspects. God didn't want us to come all in and go up. He wanted us to stay here and go out and further the kingdom. So what happened? The language was confused and everyone scattered. Is that not what's happening today? Our languages in America are confused. We have those in the Republican Party that won't touch the issue of race, when right now it's in the forefront of a lot of things. And then you have those in the Democratic Party that push the issue of race to keep a division. Why don't we come together as Americans? That's what I'm looking at. I'm an American that happened to be black. I'm not a black American. I'm an American that happened to be black. So that's the way that goes. I'm the overall. We don't say that we're a poodle that happens to be black, because this separates us. And I do have 2 black poodles in my Beastie Boys. But if we say I'm a dog that happens to be black, that covers the full species. The poodle covers a subspecies. So in this subspecies thing of America, I'm not dealing with it. We are all Americans. We need to be standing on one accord. Yes, we have some wrong things that happen in the development of our nation. Yes, we have some now. That doesn't stop us from being in unity. But in order for that to happen, before unity, there has to be truth. The truth is, there are those who have stirred up the race pot. There are those who have stirred up the immigrant pot. There are those who have stirred up especially the religious pot. And there are definitely those who try to put sexuality and use that. So how many different things do we have now to keep us apart? How many different things? Granted, we're all not going to be the same, but we can all agree on one thing. That's respect. We're on this earth and we must respect one another. I don't have to agree with you, but I can respect you. Even if you don't like me because of my culture or whatever. Not my monkey, not my circus. I don't have to dislike you because you dislike me. I can respectfully like you as you should me, but I'm not God's enforcer. He doesn't judge me on what you do. He judges me on what I do. So that's the other part that I look at it. And then we continue coming on up. Oh my gosh, we could just come through so many different things, even to the point of concubines versus wives, children of concubines versus children of the wife. And then we keep on. You have the people that are in the temple. You have the classes in the temple. Why do we have all these classes? I understand that there are going to be differences, but the class should not dictate the treatment of anyone. Well, let's come on up a little bit further. We come up to the civil rights movement. A dominant group of people, I won't say ruling because you don't rule unless you are given that. If you take it, it's tyranny. So a dominant group of people in America did not want equal rights for other people, whether it be Chinese, black, Native American, whatever, didn't want it. Yes, I'm talking about white people, but I'm being straight about what I'm saying. Now, as it developed later on, here's the civil rights movement. Okay, we finally getting this thing straight. But there's still some people that, no, I ain't dealing with that. Even today, we got people that's dealing like that. Well, let's get real about this thing. America is going to be a brown country within the next 50 years. Right now, it's already happening. People are starting to throw all the racist and bigoted stuff out. Even behind the scenes, it's been going on for centuries now, where you had certain people that would sneak with certain people. They wouldn't be in public together, but at nighttime, that's what it is. So I could break that down as well on how we still have this unity. Now, as we continue to come together, we need unity. We don't need the divisiveness. We don't need all of that. We need unity, especially in this day and time. And does that unity say that all aspects of our life will match? No, it doesn't. But it does say that if we agree upon the better of our fellow man, as well as the advancement of him and the well-being of him or her, just not men, then we will all be on point. But what I see is a lot of fear in people. Fear that they're going to lose something. Fear that somebody's going to invade their lifestyle or their space. I don't have any fear. I cannot control all of society out here, but I can control the society in my home. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It's as simple as that. And serving the Lord does not mean that I need to attack someone. I need to do anything. Just recently, I came from Orlando, Florida. There's a church in Orlando, and it didn't shock me that I saw it this morning, that's in the news. They're very, very, very homophobic and violent, borderline, against anyone of the LGBT community. I don't agree with the community, but I don't agree with that church either. You know, I just can't. Just like the Westboro Baptist Church, I can't. I wish they would show up at a loved one of mine's funeral and try to disrupt it. Oh, y'all will see the other side and find out the doctor is after the prodigal then, not before. So in that situation, I would move the doctor after the prodigal, and I go back to being a prodigal real quick when you disrespect my family. And that goes for political people as well. I've had people that have said very disrespectful things and didn't realize that they were in the presence of my family. When I gently approached them about it, then they want to get ignorant. I don't take that. Any man, I could care less if your culture, anything, you better defend your family. You better defend it at any cost necessary. So let's go back into the division again. Here we have political parties. One is attacking and saying this, and the other one is attacking saying that. But when I look at it, both of them lying. Because if we were so concerned about the betterment of the citizens of this country, we wouldn't have a political party or parties. We would have individuals standing up firm into what is right. So the more that I think about this division thing, the sadder I get. We don't even realize the enemy has used that to keep us on edge, keep us apart, and we can't do anything until we come together as one. The Bible says that if one can put 1,000 to fight and 2 10,000, I haven't figured that math out yet. I don't even know how to deal with that as an exponent. But just imagine if one can put 1,000 and 2 could put 10,000. So if I just break it down into where my brain can understand it, so I get 2, that's 10,000. For every 2 people agreeing, that's 10,000 put to flight. What if we all agreed on we are going to rid America of this nonsense of divisiveness, and we begin hooking up with somebody? How long would that take? Wouldn't take a long time. There's something else that I keep looking out my window at. I watch young people as they go to school. It's interesting now that summer's out. I don't see them, but yet I see how young people can be together. There's no race discrimination against that. And later on, as they're taught, now there begins to be discrimination. There begins to be discrimination. So we need to just move all of that out the way. We as Christians have no right to discriminate against anyone. When you disrespect the creation of God, you're actually disrespecting God. So when you disrespect one of his creations, you're disrespecting him. I can't disrespect another human. I must respect him. That don't mean I have to like him or agree with him, but I must respect him. And contrary to popular belief, if there's respect, there won't be disunity. Now, let me touch on this very briefly, and then I got to go work in the yard like a Hebrew in Egypt. I hate this yard sometimes. Yeah, they look nice, but I hate it. So let's go ahead into the churches and the religious communities. You have disunity in every major world religion. Why? Because you have disunity in the building blocks of these world faiths. People. You have disunity in the Hindu faith. You have disunity in, let's say, especially in Christianity. You have disunity in the Islamic community. You have disunity in the Catholic community. You have disunity in the Jewish community. And then you walk out your house and you got disunity in your own neighborhood. Figure that out. So, not leaning on one specific, I can only speak of Christians. We serve the same God, we believe the same God, we know the same God, then why don't we know each other? That's sad. That's sad. So, I would like to just close this with, let's come together. I started in the beginning when I was doing this. Come, let us reason together. Once you sit down with somebody, you'll figure out they're not that much different. That you may have assumed a lot of things, but it's not necessarily so. It's not necessarily so. It's not necessarily so. Please, let's come together, respect one another, shut your mouth, and let's put that energy that's flowing out of your face to work to improve, first of all, our homes, next our communities and neighborhoods, then our state, then our nation, and then we can touch the world. I'll end with this. Oh, no man anything but to love. People use that for so many different things. But what I do owe you is God. And God is love. What you owe me is God. And God is love. And that's all I owe you. Because as I pay that vow, all else is covered. All else is covered. Religious people, stop acting like the world. Church folk, stop acting like the world. Competing, fighting for seats, fighting for positions, tearing people down, acting like that you got the only revelation from God. Stop it. Pastors, check your leadership. They only reflect you. And yes, that's a hard thing. If they ignorant, somewhere along the line you're ignorant. Hard words, but real words. Leaders, if you're not emulating a good man or woman of God, and you're in that position, you are causing disunity in the body. And that was not Jesus' prayer. Let them be as one as we are one. When you do not represent a godly leader, you have just caused more disunity and harm than anything else in this earth. So get it right. Oh, you didn't think I would say that? Well, let's keep going then. Down into the parishioners, the church members, all of these. Get it real. Stop causing disunity. The man of God speaks to you what God gave him to say, if he's a man of God and if he's hearing from the Lord. I'm not saying all that are there do. No, we have some Fruit Loops everywhere. We don't have Fruit Loops all the way from the highest form of government down to your next door neighbor and into your house as quiet as it's kept. But if this man is giving godly wisdom, godly counsel, godly words, then you all need to just take that thing and be the carriers of God. First in yourself, then in the words, then in the other people into the earth. Then we'll deal with this. We don't need disunity. We don't need disunity. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. Stop arguing over 2 or 3 scriptures and start living the book. How about that? Stop arguing over who's right and who's wrong. I'm trying to figure out a way to say it, but the only way I can say it is this. Arguing with somebody over punctuation in the Bible is like being in the Special Olympics. Even if you win, it's still not the regular Olympics, and it's still that, the Special Olympics. So let's stay in our lane. Don't argue. Don't compete. Why don't we lock arms and walk together? Guaranteed we could do a whole lot more with 2 putting 10,000 to flight. I need a couple more people because I really want to sit down and figure this out. Any of my math people out there, tell me what kind of formula that would be, because I'm really curious about that. 1 can put 1,000 to flight, so that's 1 equals 1,000. Where 2 can put 10,000 to flight. So how did that increase in such magnitude from 1 to 2? Help me out on that. And if you can't, don't worry about it. I know it one day God's going to tell us. We'll understand it better by and by. I'm not going to sing to y'all because you're going to clown me. Dr. Prodigal to you. Hit me up on the channel. Send me a message. Like I said, I prefer to answer emails because I would take time to sit down and really give thought. I don't want to give any flipping thoughts from here on out. In the meantime, love my wife. Kind of like just gardening and everything and the flowers. But I hate working. Not out in the yard. I'm not very fond of it lately. So it's time for me to go back out and work like a Hebrew in Egypt in this yard while it's still kind of cool today. God bless you. Hit me up, Dr. Prodigal. Send it around to people. Send me an email, dr.e.t.davisi@gmail.com. Come let us reason together. Let us make this world as best as we can, someplace that God would say, I want to come back to. And maybe not just to get the people, but I would love to come back and walk among them. Right now, I'm really waiting for him to come get us. God bless you. We'll see what's going on. May you have a wonderful day. Keep me in prayer as I keep you in prayer. Bye-bye.